So I'm headed to Nara, my favorite spot for hookah and great food. I won't be going with anyone today, which is totally cool because I'm there to work. Something about going out to a public spot and working. For some reason, I don't know what brain receptors it activates, but it definitely helps me work when other people are around. Just the same way goes for like if I'm like at the gym, I'd prefer there to be not too many people, but I'd prefer there to be like not no people. I prefer there to be some people, and then I'd usually work harder, push harder, and so on and so forth. So I'm just that's what I've also kind of done, which was like when back in high school, I would always go to like a public Starbucks or somewhere public to work. Not all the time, but when I'd want to really get something done that day and I'm feeling like going out, and I'll go. But most days I'm pretty introverted and would want to just stay at the office and work. I'll just put on some headphones and do that. I have those AirPod Pro Maxes. After like a couple hours, they just get too heavy, and they end up like hurting my head, and like my head gets hot because of the headphones. I just like the AirPod Pros. Nice, easy, and great sound. Sometimes they glitch out, but that's what I use. I'll listen to like some Pink Floyd while I work. So I definitely not listen to like any rap stuff. I don't really believe in the, I guess, you are what you listen to. Not to the full extent. I think some people just give it too much power. I mean, I know a ton of successful people that listen to rap, and the rap's about fucking killing people, or just like all the bad shit that comes with rap. But they just enjoy the music as the music. They don't really care about the lyrics. So I think people kind of give too much power to that. Just people give too much power to a ton of superstitions anyways. It's like, I need to do this in order for me to, is a really powerful statement. It keeps us from doing a lot of things in life, and it kind of puts us on crutches. And I still have a couple of these superstitions. Mainly it's sleep, because I can actually feel the effects of sleep. But there's a lot of other people out there that will say, I can run off of 3-4 hours. You can stay at the desk all day, but like today's a Sunday, and I took it a lot lighter today. Usually I'll kind of use this day as like a thinking day, a planning day for next week, to make sure I make good moves. So and then today, like I think I just like, I woke up today and I was like feeling really tired, and I was like feeling that feeling where it was not just like I need more sleep, it's like I actually need more sleep. So a lot of times you don't need the Whoop, you don't need the Apple Watch stuff, you don't need all the fancy stuff. A lot of times you just listen to your body. Your body's very smart, okay? You don't really have to have all these things. And to be honest, like having a sleep tracker can actually end up hurting your sleep because you're thinking too much about sleep, which ends up just ruining your sleep, because that's the number one way to get terrible sleep, is to stress about sleep and to just stress in general. Stress in general is just very no bueno. So I try to stay a lot away from that stuff. I love to track, but I don't really I don't give it a lot of power. So, and you are the one in control of giving something power. So, I very much value sleep. I know the importance of sleep. I know how much sleep will impact my performance at the workspace, on my workouts, how I interact with people, so on and so forth. So that is really my, I guess, quote unquote biggest superstitions I have. Is like, if I don't get good sleep, then just from my own experience, I'm just not going to perform at my 100%. Like, I can't fight biology. And I don't know what kind of mindset allows someone to operate 100 without having a proper foundation. So, you know, there are seasons where you have to work ridiculously hard, but sometimes a lot of times that's like an underlying problem, unless you're just starting out, like, I understand, and if your back is against the wall, you're nothing matters except to make this fucking money. If your back is to the wall and you can't even pay rent and like this stuff, don't worry about the biohacking stuff. Like, at that point, you have to give 100% of what is in your tank. Okay, not 100% of your biological potential, but 100%, 120% of what you have in the tank every single day, until you make it to the point where you can delegate, or you can automate, or you can be a little more balanced. Okay, so I think a lot of people have a couple different perspectives on work-life balance. I think the weekends, I haven't locked it down yet, even though I talk about it. I haven't locked down my weekends yet, which this is something I feel like I'm lacking on, working on the weekends to get ahead of the competition, because I know a lot of successful people, weekends don't even exist for them. It's just every day is just rolling. So there's no difference between a Sunday and a Monday or a Friday compared to a Tuesday. It's just every day, whatever's on the schedule, we do it, and we're on the ball. And it's not like they have to sacrifice, family, or they have to sacrifice their health or anything. It's just, you really shouldn't have to, I guess, follow a different schedule for the weekends, because that means your Monday to Friday is not really, I guess, optimal enough to where you can do it all the time. So, and for a lot of you, if you have to catch up on sleep on the weekends, that's usually saying something about your weekday sleep schedule. Because if you have to save Saturday and Sunday to sleep in, that means during the week you didn't get enough sleep, or you like, maybe that's not the specific sleep schedule for your specific chronotype. Chronotypes are real. There's third birds, there's owls, and I think there's early birds, or lark, early bird, and then owl. Owl is like night shift workers, I think, and then early bird, someone who can be up at 4 a.m. and be extremely productive. And then third bird is usually, or third bird / lark, I think. Don't quote me on this, but that's where most people lie, is the ones that have wake up around like 6 to 8, I think, and then from there their energy dips in the afternoon, which I do. I think I am a third bird, or a lark, I think that's what you call them. But yeah, you need to definitely listen to, I guess, identify your chronotype and then work around your chronotype to your advantage. It's only, like, my schedule might not be the same as your schedule, because you may be you may have a different chronotype where your afternoon energy levels are actually at its highest, or you are not the most productive in the mornings and you're way more productive at night. Your sleep schedules may be different. So there's a lot of factors and a lot of experimenting you have to do in order to really be, I guess, your truest optimal self. You can take tips from Andrew Huberman and me and your favorite entrepreneur, but what it comes down to is you experimenting with all the things taught by them and seeing which one actually works best for you, because all that matters is what works best for you, not Andrew, not Alex Hermosi, not me. It's like whatever I do will sometimes be different from you, and maybe some stuff I have would work for you, but a lot of times everyone is different, and everyone needs to have their own, I guess, schedule, but you must be really honest with yourself when you're crafting these schedules and making sure that there's a line drawn between, like, is this me being like lazy, or is this me being like is this really the highest and best use of my time, pretty much. Like, I see people designate time to do like really stupid stuff, but that's besides the point. But really, it comes down to just you and your own schedule, or your own body, really. So I go to bed. I'm actually getting really good at this. Is I will take my sleep supplements at 8:40 or 8:30. I'll have my food. For me, I guess my body's used to it. I have food pretty close to bedtime, like an hour and a half, or for sure at least an hour, and then I'll make sure to walk after, at least a little bit, because it helps me digest my food better, so my digestive system doesn't have to work as hard during sleep. So that's really that. So I take my sleep supplements, then I take Gorilla Mind sleep supplements. They're the best company I've found. It's also like I haven't tested a ton of companies, but I've had them, and whether it's placebo or not, it makes me fucking knock out like a baby. My sleep scores have definitely improved, but at the end of the day, these are just supplements. What really matters is having a consistent sleep schedule, a cold, dark room, preferably like 67 degrees, and no LED lights, and making sure that you limit your exposure to blue light at least an hour to 2 hours before bedtime, which a lot of you, and even me, won't fucking follow that rule, which is crazy. So what I do is I put on my red light glasses, or I'll turn on the color filters on my phone, so it's on grayscale, so it's just boring. The worst way, or the best way to really kill your sleep like quality, is to be scrolling on like YouTube shorts. Everyone does it. Okay, I do it. A lot of people do it. Like, the thing is, it's just like, for us, we just feel extremely guilty about it. I'm just like, fuck, I just scrolled like 20 shorts, and I just wasted like 30 minutes, and now my sleep's fucked up and all this. So making sure that you identify, because you can really get sucked in with scrolling and how that ghost finger. Some people don't have a problem with it, but I do. So I'm really trying to get better at that. Really, it's the best way to do it is just actually keep your phone out the room, and then I'll just have an iPad. I'll finish a movie I have going, or I'll start a movie, or that's usually what I'll do, is that now that's what I'm doing, is like finishing a movie. But I'll put on my red light glasses, and then at 10 is usually when I'm like knocked out pretty good, and then up at 6:30. So even though my sleep schedule is from 10 to 6:30, it doesn't mean I'm sleeping 8.5 hours. On my Whoop, it says I'm actually only sleeping like 7.5, because I spend an hour just awake, like just oh my gosh, this pothole is insane. But I'll spend an hour just awake. So realistically, I only get 7.5 of real sleep, which is pretty good. You just have to make sure that I can't park here. You just have to make sure that you're also you have sleep efficiency, which means like if your deep and your REM sleep make up only, let's say, I think it's under 30% of your total sleep, then that means it's, I guess, no bueno. If it's 30 to 44% of your total sleep, including wake up time, it's sufficient. And if it's 44% up, it's really good. So pretty much I'm going to challenge myself for the next 30 days to really lock down my sleep schedule, because once your body gets into the rhythm of like, hey, it's 10 o'clock, you should be sleeping, or like you're gonna, like, if at 10 I can't sleep while I'm standing up, then I haven't locked down my rhythm yet. So and it's real. It's called the circadian rhythm, and so making sure that you sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. Wake up at the same time is not really as important as sleeping at the same time. I would argue that a bedtime alarm is much more important than a wake up alarm. Yes, have wake up alarm, but it is more important to have a consistent sleep time than a consistent wake up time, because a lot of times there'll be different days where you may need a couple extra hours because you had more strain on your body, or you stressed a little more, so your body needs to recover from that a bit harder. So those days, you, instead of waking up at 6:30, wake up at 7:30, and that's something about being an entrepreneur is like, I don't have to be work at 9. I can be work at 7:30 or 9:30. 9:30 is very like stupid. But I can. It's like I don't like to, but I can. But just having that, I guess, like cushion, that net, is really nice. I have missed a couple meetings before, mainly due to like they're like 5:30 meetings, because there's meetings with like people on the other side of the world, that I missed just because I just completely forgot about it. Which is entirely my fault. But the most important thing is making sure that you lock in your sleep schedule, and that's really the foundation to your optimal performance level. Is with anything, not just workspace, is relationships, workouts, physical performance, mental performance. Everything else in between will improve if you lock down your sleep. Because what's interesting is I found this stat out from a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast. His name is Matthew. Forget his last name, but he also had a podcast with Andrew Huberman, and he said the total amount of car accidents combined with both drugs and alcohol will not exceed the total accidents for drowsiness induced car accidents, which blew my mind, and it started to make sense. And actually what he said, I don't know if this stat is updated, was every 30 seconds that you and me been talking, there was a car accident due to tiredness or drowsiness, and it's all the time usually due to sleep. So and another crazy stat was there is an experiment done by half the world every year, twice a year, and it's called daylight savings, and then pretty much daylight savings. There's a day where there's an hour removed, and then there's a day where there's an hour added. And what's really interesting is that don't quote me on any of this. I'm getting very ballpark numbers, but on the day where an hour was added to the day, heart attacks decreased. The total amount of heart attacks reported decreased by 20-something%. And then on the flip side, when there was an hour decreased from the world, or like just adjusted, there was a 24% increase in heart attacks reported, which blew my mind, which is crazy, because I mean that's not even anecdotal evidence anymore, because the test size is so large, and yeah, it's like that's insanity, and I don't think there's just not enough emphasis put on sleep lately, or just anywhere. I think entrepreneurs kind of, or some of the newer guys, like the older guys will understand, but like the newer entrepreneurs really feel like, okay, I gotta work 16-hour work days and like do all this shit. No, you don't. It's better if you are at your 100% optimal level of performance, that only 8 hours, like really any work after 8 hours is just diminishing returns. Yes, you'll get work done, but it will be at 50%. It's up to you if you want to keep pushing. But a lot of times it's better to just save it for tomorrow, and be well rested, and and a lot of times what would happen is we'll make really bad decisions when we aren't well rested, and then we'd realize, okay, I want to go 7 steps forward, but then realize, oh shit, I made this big mistake. I got to take 8 steps back and then redo my first step. So really lock in your sleep. But I'm here at Nara now, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to get some work done. Today's our agency merge. It was supposed to be yesterday, but I'll see you guys later.